I just got back from Europe, as we know, where I was basically living on bread and pastries and French fries, which is very common there, and pasta and things like that. And it's interesting because when you're there and you see people who live there or local people, I really don't think I saw any obese people. And yet here we're told that carbs are bad and that you can't eat bread, pasta, rice, you name it, that's the enemy. And you are setting out to change that myth, right? To dispel that myth.
You know, growing up, we were told that fat was bad and carbs were good, and Snackwell cookies. Remember Snackwell?
The chocolate?
Right?
Yes. Oh my
For
God.
those of you who don't remember, Nabisco came out with, I think it was Nabisco, with these cookies that were zero fat. They were loaded with sugar and hyper processed things, but because they were fat free, you could have boxes and boxes of them, which obviously is not the right answer. The first time I went to Japan, there was no one there that I saw that was overweight. I mean, no one. And I'd read that they had the longest lifespan in the world and the lowest incidence of diabetes and heart disease and cancer, most cancers. Yet they consume most of their calories from carbohydrates, specifically white rice. And then I'd come back here and they're like, no, carbs are bad. Don't eat white rice. And then I see everyone here is, such a high obesity rate. I think right now, Japan has a 4% obesity rate and the US is 44%. Japan has amongst the highest carbohydrate diet in the world. The US has amongst the lower carbohydrate diet consumptions as a percentage of calories in the world. And I took more time, and I've read every nutrition book over the years. I've read the China study, I've read the Okinawan diet, I've read the Mediterranean diet, I've read the Scandinavian diets. And all of these diets receive, exponentially more carbohydrates as a percentage of calories than we do here in the United States. And I never understood where this messaging came from, this low carbohydrate messaging. And then it sort of dawned upon me that people are looking for a quick fix here. And you can lose more weight on a scale by cutting carbs than any other way. It's all water. But in 1 week, you can drop 10 pounds of water by cutting carbs. And people are looking for that. And from a scientific perspective, we know that a low carb diet and a high carb diet, long term, there is no benefits of a low carb diet for long-term weight loss at all. So why do it? And who thinks that a bacon double cheeseburger is healthy for you as long as you don't eat the bun or the tomato, which we know is not. It's calories in versus calories out, and that's really all that matters.
And in your book, you talk about how in like the late 90s, early 2000s, there was this shift where, it went from everything being low fat and fat was the enemy and the Snackwells and all of that to low carb. And then around the same time, that's when obesity rates started going up, right? So is that causation or correlation? Can you say?
I can't say it's causation because there's so many other factors, but I think correlation for sure. I think it's coincidence that at the exact same time those things happen. Other things happen. The internet became bigger and maybe people were a little less active. But I think the biggest issue is people consuming more calories. And when you're eating most of your calories from foods that are way more calorically dense, fat, it's almost 2.5 times the calorie density of carbohydrates or protein, you're going to eat more calories. And when we bless certain foods, like you can have a fatty cut of meat and cooked in clotted butter and with cream on the side, and as long as you don't have that carrot, you're going to be okay. We have to sort of question why. There was a crazy stat I read between 1974 and 2024, that 50-year period. The average American consumes 700 calories more per day. Okay. Of those 700 additional calories, how many do you think come from sugar?
80%.
40 out of the 700 additional calories come from sugar.
Okay.
Most of it is coming from added fats.
Interesting.
And that's really been the biggest change in the American diet. Sure, we eat more, but we eat more because we're eating more calorically dense foods. And most of that is as a result of having fats. And when we think about certain foods that are carbs, I don't want to eat that. I cut out pastries, I cut out donuts, I cut out French fries and potato chips. All those carbs are cut out and I've lost weight. Actually, none of those are carbs. Those are all fats. They receive more than 50% of their calories from fat. So you're cutting out a calorically dense food of which most of the calories are fat. You don't get fat from eating a baked potato. You get fat from having a baked potato loaded with sour cream and bacon and butter and all of those other things. But the potato itself is harmless.